Hi there, and welcome to the Everyday Entrepreneur Podcast, where I, Kaitlin Fritz, help you reach your entrepreneurial potential. Together, we can build your dream social impact business so that you can leave a legacy beyond your 9-to-5. Hi there, happy Tuesday. Welcome to this episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. My name is Kaitlin Fritz. I am Forbes recognized entrepreneur, award-winning business mentor, and entrepreneurship educator. I've been lucky enough to support 650 plus founders from around the world build, grow, and scale their business with impact. And today I am talking about something that I am so excited about, which is starting your business with zero money. Now, I just want to preface this episode that I am talking about starting your business MVP with no money. Obviously, it costs money to register, become a legal entity, all of that. But even before you get to that stage, you need to test your minimum viable prototype to really see if you even have a business or if your business has legs. So we're going to be talking about building this initial prototype with no budget. And I am so excited. But before we jump in, I just want to say you can build a business with no budget. I feel like oftentimes I've been guilty of this myself. We use money as kind of a guise for maybe another reason we're not ready to start a business. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anxiety, a lack of confidence, or even, lack of education if we are building a tech business with no technical background. You're looking at case in point here. But I am telling you, no matter what background, qualifications, experience you do or do not have, you can go out and test your business idea with no money. So I want you to think about building this minimum viable prototype as kind of an experiment. It might feel very paradoxical, but by actually going out, building something scrappy and testing it, you will have, I would say, 100 times more confidence when you are refining, iterating, and going to launch when you do have a big budget, because you are already going to know what the market wants, what your customers need, and what features and benefits they do and do not appreciate. So when you get that kind of mindset, like we are putting on our white coats, testing our business hypothesis before we invest a cent into it, it becomes a really exciting adventure. And you can build a business with no money by using some of the incredible tools and resources we have out there today. I love how much the entrepreneurship space has been growing. It's becoming more accessible, I would say day on day, year on year. And now any idea, arguably, can be tested with a scrappy prototype. So I created a Build Your Business with Zero Money ebook. It is a cheat sheet full of resources of my favorite no-code tools and some of my favorite operations, design, sales, and marketing resources that cost you nothing. And you can download that with the link in the bio, but I'm going to share a few of them with you today. So when you are starting your business with no money, I want you to embrace the free trials. So some of the tools I might mention today have free trial versions. Try them. I love a good try before you buy. It gives you time to learn, play around, sandbox some of your ideas. And if you don't like it, you haven't invested. Also, there are some really cool resources that you probably have access to and never even realized. Don't underestimate some of the free tools you already have. So check out the Google Suite. If you haven't played around with Jamboard from Google, I would tell you that's one of your homework assignments today. But there are some really great tools already out there that maybe you just haven't explored. And like I mentioned earlier, you need to go in trying these resources with a learn as you go attitude. No matter how technically literate or illiterate you are, I'm telling you these tools and resources have been designed to welcome you no matter what stage you are at. In the ebook, I have a whole page on tech for non-techies because been there, done that. So let's jump in with some of my favorite operation resources that you can use absolutely for free. So before you build your MVP, you might want to ideate and get all of your ideas on paper, or in this case, on computer. And one of my favorite tools for doing this is Trello. Trello is the way you can visualize all the tasks you need to do on one dashboard. I love using these boards for brainstorming, for putting all of my random ideas I think about when I'm traveling to and from on the tube. Those are when the great ideas happen. And it allows you to really see all the work you need to do as you are building your prototype. There are other tools out there, but if you're a visual person like me, Trello is my favorite. Now, oftentimes, I would say about 80% of businesses I work with build their first MVP as a landing page. If you don't know what a landing page is, it is a one-page website that has, the benefits and bare basics of your product or service to gauge interest from the audience. You do not need a fancy website while you're testing out your business idea. Some of my favorite landing page websites include yep.so, which they pride themselves in basically allowing you to build a landing page in 15 minutes or less. That is crazy fast. But what I love about yep.so is that it's very simple. There's no frills. You do not get distracted by, what color is my logo or the branding or the font. It's very simplistic, but that is the point. You are testing your offering, and it even allows individuals to submit their emails if they're interested. Super fun, super easy. Another amazing landing page site is Card. I used Card as our first landing page when we were building Musemio back in 2018. And I am telling you, the great thing about Card is it is also very simple. It is a website designed only to be scrolled on one page. All of the templates allow you to showcase your products, your portfolio, etc. in a really easy and simple way. There's a little more design flair, I would say, than yep.so, but not enough to be completely overwhelmed like Squarespace. So those are two of my favorite landing page builders. And guess what? If you are testing your app or even thinking about an app, there are free resources as well to test an app, like Bravo or Glide. I mentioned both of these in the ebook. Now, we talked a little bit about tech for non-techies. What about design for non-designers? Yes, you do not need to shell out a ton of cash in your early days for some great design work. What I would consider probably my favorite tool resource of all time is Canva. I love Canva. And no, nobody's paying me to say that. I love Canva. Canva allows you to create logos, documents, leaflets, social media posts. I mean, almost just about everything, even mock-ups. What your logo would look like on a t-shirt. They are your design powerhouse, and you do not need to be a designer. What's amazing about Canva is they have free trials. They have a free version, and then they also have free trials. And I recommend just playing around with it. It might feel a little bit overwhelming at first because there are so many options, but I'm telling you, if you need a creative spark lit, go to Canva. Another thing when it comes to design is people often think of brand photography. Do I need to shell out a ton of money to get some photos? Absolutely not. There are some really great free open source websites for photography. One of my favorite is Unsplash. Another one is Pexel. And they have very diverse, beautiful images that you can use and not worry about copyright or shelling out a ton of money in the early stages for a photographer. We talked a little bit about some operations, landing pages, as well as design. Now I want to jump into marketing. You do not need to shell out a ton of money to work with a marketing agency. There are ways you can build your marketing muscle with no money. The first is through content marketing. You can start a blog today in about 10 minutes if you sign up with Medium. Medium is an incredible peer blogging platform that allows you to really share your voice, share your insights, and share maybe even the behind the scenes building of your product with no costs. It's really an amazing way for you to showcase your thought leadership, and you can even get published on other Medium platforms, which are considered publications, almost like an e-magazine. That is a really underrated tool when it comes to building out your content. The other marketing tool I love is newsletter/audience generation platforms like MailChimp. Once again, MailChimp is a powerhouse. You can build a landing page on MailChimp, but I wouldn't recommend it for your first one just because there's probably too many options. You can build your newsletter. You can send out newsletters. You can build your audience. MailChimp is awesome. It has, the data protection for those emails and your audience, but also the flexibility for you to really reach them in fun and unique ways. If you haven't played around with MailChimp, once again, you have to try it. Now, I don't want you to shy away from some of the tools maybe you already have and you don't even know you have. One of my favorite tools for working with digital webinars, workshops is Jamboard. And this is a free tool by Google. Think of Miro or an online collaboration platform where you can stick Post-its, collaborate, share ideas, all work on one document together. But it's absolutely free. It is perfect if your MVP involves a focus group or a survey or a one-to-one interview where you can get your audience to interact with a digital interface. Also, it's just a lot of fun. Who doesn't love virtual Post-its? Now, in the ebook that is full of cheat sheets and links to my favorite resources, I also have some of my favorite free, fun tools. I am always on the hunt for a great resource or a great tool, and two that come to mind are Coolors, spelled Coolors, kind of like colors. It is I don't know how to call it, maybe a palette builder. It allows you to be auto-suggested with various color palettes, schemes, and you can play around with them. So if there's one color you like, You can hold it and randomize the others, and it gives you some really nice color palettes for inspiration. If you are thinking about, your logo, your landing page, and maybe don't know what colors work well together, definitely check out Coolers. And if you're bored, I would just check it out. It's so much fun to play with. Another really fun resource is Otter AI. Otter AI is super practical, but I also think it is amazingly fun because it is a way for you to transcribe your meeting, your notes, without any effort. So when you're having a call with an individual, Otter AI can type up your transcript. But it's also really great if you want to recap meetings, if you're someone who likes to talk out their ideas. It's a way for you to get all of those thoughts and speeches down into one place. And they have a really great free trial if you are interested. Now, no matter what tools you use, it's important that you leverage these resources and really put them into action. You need to put that white coat on of a scientist and start small and scrappy testing your hypothesis. Think of the easiest, simplest, scrappiest way you can build your product or service. Is it a landing page? Is it a Google form? Don't be afraid or even embarrassed to start small, because you're going to be able to test every step of the way before you make any capital investment. What I tell founders in my community is test before you invest. You'll get feedback, you'll learn as you go, and you'll be able to embrace iterations so that you can build the best business, product, or service you can. Now, these have been my tips on how to start and build your business with no budget. I would love to hear what resources maybe you've used, so don't be afraid to drop them on social media because I love checking out and playing with some new tools. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, I have designed an ebook for you that has some of my favorite resources, links, and tools for you to build your minimum viable prototype with no budget. Be sure to download that ebook full of cheat sheets with the link in the bio. And I look forward to seeing how you build these early stages of your business with zero money. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you next week on Everyday Entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. To stay tuned and most up to date, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me, Kaitlin Fritz, on Instagram. And if you have any questions about building your business with impact, drop me an email with the link in the show notes. This podcast is produced by the great people at the Podcast Boutique. I look forward to catching up with you next week. See you then.